because this is definitely one of the things I wanted to do on stream today. I don't know if you guys saw, like, we tweeted about it yesterday, but there were some huge 9.1.5 development notes that came out, and they made a post about this, about like some of their ideas that were coming out. And then this is like the actual expression of them. And if we were being clickbait memers, we would be saying 9.1.5, the patch that saved Shadowlands, the patch that saved World of Warcraft. I got it already, Lance, no worries. So I'm having fun with Shadowlands. However, I think a lot of this stuff addresses some community concerns, and there's always room for improvement, and I would say that a lot of these things are improvements. So let's check this out. So not everything is like a big deal to me, but we can just start from the top, okay? So World of Warcraft version 9.1.5 PTR. So it's just public test. Doesn't mean that everything's gonna happen, but like these are changes that they want to try out to see how it goes, right? So there's new character customization options for Nightborn, Lightforged, Draenei, and Void Elves, which is cool because character customization options were one of the things people wanted more of. And you no longer have to do like the quest required for these. You can just like talk to the NPC for the dungeon quest and then talk to him again to skip it. So there's that. So there's now weather effects in Stormwind and Org. I didn't even really notice, you know, that there weren't weather effects before, but that's cool. There's weather effects in Stormwind and Org. So all cooldowns of 2 minutes or longer are now reset at the end of raid encounters or when starting a Mythic Plus dungeon. So I don't even really know if I noticed that, but that would kind of be a bummer to like have Avatar on cooldown at the beginning of a dungeon. Be kind of weird. But I guess raid encounters, right? Like all your cooldowns are reset, so you don't have to wait around for like your raid cooldowns too, I guess. That's kind of nice, right? It doesn't apply to Shaman Reincarnation or Warlock Ritual of Doom. This is a big one. People really did not like the AoE cap, right? So the following area of effect abilities are no longer maximum target capped and instead deal reduced damage beyond 5 targets. The developer's note here is that with the launch of Shadowlands, we reduced the maximum number of targets that several abilities could hit, specifically to address a few gameplay problems related to pulling a large number of enemies in dungeons, right? So you would just pull the entire dungeon on top of the boss and just AoE everything down. So players often refer to these changes as the AoE Target Cap. Our intention was to reduce the effectiveness of burst AoE buttons against large counts, like 15 to 20 enemies, while also increasing their effectiveness against fewer enemies, like 3 to 5, and communicating that strength clearly in the tooltips. The abilities that remained uncapped were generally ones that offered lower damage over a longer period of time, like Blizzard or Consecration. Along with other changes, we set out to move away from pull as many enemies as possible, use all your cooldowns, and delete them as the predominant strategy across various forms of content. So we received a lot of feedback that these abilities not hitting enemies in their range in any way creates a field problem for WoW combat. It does, but also an issue for trivial encounters like farming legacy content. Yeah, that'd be really annoying. Like if you go to Bladestorm, like a bunch of mobs in a like a transmog raid, and it just like doesn't hit anything except 5 of them. That'd be weird. For many of the abilities that underwent the change from uncapped to a strict target cap in 9.0, we're converting the damage to reduced beyond 5 targets. This means the ability will deal full damage against 5 targets and reduce damage to each additional target beyond 5. That's how like the spear works, right? This means that while the overall damage done by the ability will increase, the number of targets, the individual damage done to each target will decrease. This solution means that these abilities and their relative classes will still have a very strong niche against packs of 4 to 6 enemies. As always, tuning will change as a result of this shift over the next few weeks, based on your feedback in the PTR. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, the target cap definitely feels kind of weird. I understand what they were going for. It's one of those changes that you give it a try. Doesn't really feel right. Players are like, it doesn't feel right. They're like, yeah, you're right, doesn't feel right. Let's change it up. So, all good. All good. So for DKs, what is all this? What is Sacrificial Pact even? I know Abomination Limb does the big thing. Reanimated Shambler does AoE. Consumption, Bone Storm, Frost Scythe, Bursting Swords. All of those are just like big AoE now. For Demon Hunters, Blade Dance, Fell Barrage. Yeah, all those should definitely be on like uncapped AoE. That just kind of seems weird. Soul Cleave, Spirit Bomb, Swipe, Brutal Slash, Beast Cleave, Multi. That's what Beastmaster Reasons need. More AoE. Anyway, Beast Cleave, multi-shot, multi-shot, barrage, explosive shot, carve, butchery. For arcane, it's arcane echo, frozen orb, glacial fragments. Monks, rushing jade wind, fist of fury, rushing jade wind, divine storm, fan of knives, crimson tempest, black powder, shuriken storm, secret technique, storm elemental's eye, fell guards, fell storm. Now warrior, we have whirlwind, uncapped AoE. Blade Storm, Cleave, Ravager, Dreadnought. That's going to be nice. And Fury has Blade Storm, Prod has Ravager. Cool. Very nice. So, what is this stuff? This just changes to the classes. So for DK, Shackle the Unworthy, damage reduced by 10%, but now has a 100% chance to spread to nearby enemies when triggered. I don't even know what that does. Withering Ground, effect increased by 50%. Impenetrable Gloom, damage effect increased 50%. So they're buffing everything that's not Necrolord to try to see if they can sort of expand what DKs can play Covenant-wise. This debilitating malady effect increased by 600%. So for Demon Hunters, they're buffing other stuff, it looks like. The Sinful Brand cooldown has been reduced to 45 seconds when it was a minute before. Blind Faith, which is a Kyrian, like, legendary, now grants 1% Burst, was Mastery before, and 10 Fury when a Lesser Soul Fragment is consumed, while Blind Faith is active. And the Dancing with Fate conduit damage effect increased to 650%. That's a lot. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a lot. 650% is a big number. So Druids, now they can discover 4 new travel form appearances with 2 color variations, each cool. The Well-Honed Instincts conduit is now categorized for all specs. Was Guardian... So what does that do for them? I don't even know. The Adaptive Swarm, jump range has been increased, and will now jump to a friendly target if it inspires on a friendly target and there's no valid hostile targets. That's cool. A lot of Druids already play Adaptive Swarm, so buffing that is like... I mean, that just affects a lot of Druids, right? So for Mage, Gift of the Lich, which is a Necrolord conduit, effect increased by 100%. Way of the Fae, increased by 100% for Monks. So they're trying to buff some of these like underused, underplayed covenants for some of these classes that like always play one thing or a selection of things. So for Paladin, for example, they're buffing Necrolord for them, and Night Fae for them. They're not blessing Venthyr, thank goodness. Because Kyrian is already strong. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, 40% increased damage on this kind of stuff is kind of nuts. So Priest, Necrolord's getting buffed 100%. Divine Star Talent buffed. Let's see, Contrition buffed. Shadow Covenant. Like, I don't know what even these things are. Buffed. Mana cost reduced. Cooldown reduced. Surrender to Madness lasts longer. Psychic Link got buffed. Rogue, Night Fae got buffed. People do play Night Fae as Rogue, though. Kyrian got buffed for Shaman. Interesting. You can't escape through best. Yep. Yeah, I wonder if that's intended or not. Impending Catastrophe got buffed. Now deals a tick of its periodic damage on impact and will more accurately apply its damage over time effects to hostile targets. Decimating Bolt is a casts faster. Scouring Tithe does more damage. Casts faster. Languishing Soul Detritus can crit more often. Oh, dang. Movement, speed, and crit chance upgrade. So the Harrowing Punishment, I know what that is. That's the effect that it buffs Condemn for Venthyr. That's cool. Interesting. The Merciless Bone Grinder. I feel like that thing is like secret OP. But then they buffed it again too. Hack and Slash. Conduit increase 50%. So it like gives you like a Raging Blow after Rampage more often. So there's that. And then Sinful Surge now extends the duration of Avatar. So was that to replace Colossus Smash or both? Interesting. You don't like the PvP rank changes? We'll talk about that in a bit. So for Covenants, players who reach a high renown threshold will be able to freely switch among the 4 Covenants without cooldown restriction, as well as use cosmetic rewards that they have earned from one Covenant, even if they are currently a member of a different one. So both the Covenant switching and the use of cosmetic rewards will also apply to alts once the renown threshold is reached on one character. That's really cool. And it makes sense too, because we've made friends with all the Covenants by saving Shadowlands, right? And I mean, like for me, I've got like rank 40 Night Fae, rank 40 Venthyr, and now I'm working on Kyrian, so being able to swap between the two of them, or any of them, kind of is cool. You don't have to do like the extra quests and stuff. Conduit energy being removed, you know, no brainer. That's a very obvious change. No reason to have conduit energy in the game. Always said that. I agree. That's cool. So once you reach a threshold, you can just swap between them and still use all the armor and stuff that you earned and the mounts. That's cool. I like that. And it makes sense at this point. Completing the Shadowlands or Korthia Covenant campaign on any character allows alternate characters joining that same Covenant to be eligible to receive the renown associated with the campaign from all catch-up sources. That'd be really nice. But you have to be in the same Covenant? If it was Covenant campaign. I don't imagine the Korthia... Oh, is the Korthia Covenant campaign... I guess that is unique to the Covenant, huh? Didn't really seem very unique to it. It's good to know, though, I guess. Just trying to make it easier to catch up on alts. Because that was one of the big things, having to do all the stuff on all your characters. I get it. I get it. Completing the Shadowlands campaign on any character allows alternate characters joining that same Covenant to immediately unlock their third Soulbind. Also cool. And there's new Covenant toys to discover. That's cool. So with Night Fae, there's new soul shapes to collect, new critter shapes. Interesting. An option to soul shape and critter shape into randomly collected appearances. Oh, that's kind of funny. Just kind of turn into something random. So for your Sanctums, for adventures, mall missions unlocked by maximum adventure level appear more often and are gated by fewer requirements. Okay. Anima Conductor. The enhancement buffs now persist past daily reset and work as a buff within all non-instance zones in Shadowlands. That's cool. For Night Fae, the Queen's Conservatory, the seeds stack up to 200, which is nice. Now, all previous locations that award uncommon quality seeds now award rare quality seeds. And Redeemed Souls, all players will now have the 20 Redeemed Souls version of the weekly quest, regardless of renown level. That's nice. And add a repeatable quest to gather 20 additional Redeemed Souls. Players that can progress their Covenant Sanctum faster. Also cool. So some of those things are like removing the time gating, making it so that you don't have to do everything that you've already done on all your alts. That's cool. Because that was one of the big complaints, is that like having a lot to do on your main is cool, but having to do all that again on all your alts is like That's a lot. So dungeons and raids, time walking. This is interesting. New Legion time walking. This event will run 2 weeks. The first time it runs within the game, and then we'll resume a regular 1 week schedule for subsequent bonus events. Time walking dungeons are all of the Legion stuff. The list of available dungeons during time walking holiday has been adjusted. So the time worn keystones, they should expand this. It should be like the Path of Exile map system, where like any dungeon ever can become a Mythic Plus dungeon, you know? That'd be really, really neat. And then there could be some bonuses for running multiple dungeons, you know? Like, that's, like, they should just steal the map system from Path of Exile. They should just do that. Because it's sort of similar already. They should just expand that to make it so that you can just run, like, if you run, like, dungeons in, like, a certain area, like, you run dungeons from a certain expansion, like, and you run enough of them, you get, like, a special boss encounters, right? That gives you, like, special loot and stuff. Like, basically just steal the Atlas idea from Path of Exile. Because that's how Path of Exile works. If you run maps in certain zones, you spawn Conquerors, and then you kill the Conquerors, kill all 4 Conquerors in that area, then you get to go fight the big boss, you know? They should absolutely just do that. This is a huge opportunity for expansion of the Mythic Plus system. That'd be cool. Anyway, while Legion time walking is active, players can speak to sup, dude, to acquire a time-worn keystone, allowing access to max level Mythic Plus difficulty for the 6 Legion dungeons. That's really cool. The Legion Mythic Plus dungeons accessed in this way will have their own set of affixes, reward, loot of the same high level as Shadowlands Mythic Plus dungeons, and count towards weekly Great Vault reward options. That's really neat. And items reward from Mythic Plus Legion dungeons will be upgraded with Valor points, but will not appear in the Great Vault. Oh, okay. Interesting, interesting. Legacy loot rules are now in place for BFA raids and dungeons. These encounters will now drop a fixed quantity of class-agnostic loot, regardless of the group size. The prompt to enter into the Time Walking campaign random dungeon queue for all expansions will now occur after 5 minutes in the queue. Wait, what? Oh. I don't really know how this... Well, I don't know what this means. After 5 minutes instead of 15 minutes? I don't know. Okay, so like if you're chilling in a random queue, it will now... Okay, I don't know how that works. Anyway, I could read it more closely, but I don't think I care that much. So you're now able to set sail on normal, heroic, mythic island expeditions by yourself if you wanted to. Just farm those. Like, what do you farm them for? Just toys? And they lowered the amount of players required to queue for like the war fronts to 5. Interesting. So what is this items and rewards thing? Players now only need to complete the achievement Breaching the Tomb on 1 character per account to begin the Legion class mount quest in the Broken Shore. Oh, okay. Each character must still complete their class hall campaign, complete quest and recruit the final Order Hall champions. This is some old stuff. This is also kind of interesting. You can show off your complete transmog outfit to chat or online by just sharing a link from the dressing room. Players will be able to mouse over these items to see if they can be how they can be collected, if they've already collected the appearance, or if it's an appearance that is accessible to the character viewing. That's neat. That's cool. Transmog and mount stuff, gotcha. I don't usually play any games off stream now. My game time is my stream time. The transmog appearance of cosmetic items is now learned when the item is used. Okay. A new rank of Heirloom Gear has been added, and all Heirloom Gear is now usable in Shadowlands and outside of Threads of Fate. Cool. Heirloom scouting maps that instantly explore all areas and grants all viable flight paths to your alts are now available for all expansions. Cool. So in Korthia and the Maw, you can unlock access to additional fast travel points from Venari's Refuge to Perdition Hold. And Desmo Terran was in the Maw. That's cool. Completing quests from Archivist Rosur will provide access to an anima diverter within Korthia, where anima can be directly deposited. Interesting. That's cool. So I guess you don't have to like go back to your order hall or something? Is that the main thing? Okay, so here's a big one. PvP. Lower item level PvP gear will now scale to a higher item level in PvP situations before. This should reduce the power level gap so that new characters can feel like they're able to compete in battlegrounds and arenas more readily. This change will not affect high item level PvP gear. And additional PvP titles and item level ranks have been added to provide a more granular upgrade path for players climbing up the ranks. I think this is cool. I think this is fine. Some people are fussing about it. But as long as it doesn't cost like double the honor to upgrade, that's cool. And I feel like they should definitely do like they should make like honor and conquest get earned a little faster, especially like for catch up. It does take a little bit long. They need to like adjust that dial. That's like one thing. A little catch up mechanics, one little dial would be good. That would be good. I'm a little bummed that there's not like a bonus for being 2400 above 2100. Like the eye level difference outside of PvP exists, but inside PvP it's the same. So, not really a big deal there. But, yeah, so it starts off as 233, 239, 242. Then it starts to scale just a teeny bit. It's a teens. Like 3 eye level per. But once you get to here, it's not that big of a difference, right? But still cool. Still cool. People should be able to get some looties and upgrade it more often, right? So you can upgrade at 1200, 1400, 1600, 1800, 1950, 2100, and then 2400. But that doesn't really make that much... Like, this is not a difference in PvP at all. 2100 is the same thing as 2400 in terms of the eye level upgrade. So, not a big deal. You do get 4 eye level increase from going 1950 to 2100, though. Where everything else is like 3, right? So, something to consider. Honor gear at its max upgrade level gives you the same eye level as unrated PvP gear, which is fine, I guess. But yeah, I think they should definitely tune it a little bit so there's like a catch-up, for sure. For sure. Why did they do that? To change ranks? To make it so that you could increase your eye level more steadily, rather than having to go 400 rating per, like in between, or what is it, 200 rating in between? What was it before? Now you can just increase it a little bit more steadily, right? A little bit more of a smooth thing. People, and you can get higher eye level gear earlier on, right? So that you're not getting crushed as much, right? I think this is the main thing, right? The lower eye level stuff has increased a lot. Yeah, so that'll help. That'll help people get geared up. I think that's a good thing. I do personally like that you can upgrade your gear as you rank up. Some people just want to have like just conquest gear. It just is what it is. Fair enough. I just think it's kind of cool that, you know, if you push that next bracket, you get to the reward of upgrading your gear. You get the reward of being more powerful, which I think is kind of fun. That's like one of the singular things that it makes me like want to do Mythic Plus. So I can like upgrade my gear, but now my gear is pretty good, so maybe I don't need to do that. But I like that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's neat. That's cool. Doesn't really affect the highest rated players, but it does help the lower rated players get going and get some item level. So that once you get to 1600, you're only, like, you're 10 eye level off what you get for 2100, right? Is that how it is already? I mean, that's... 10 eye level is significant, but it helps. You don't like it, Faha? That's okay. You can tell me why. I'm sure in any situation there are people who like something and who don't like something, but helping lower rated players get better eye level so they can, you know, not complain that it's gear holding them back, that's good. Phrasing it that way is one thing. No, so they can get in the game and have some fun, that's good. That's good. And being able to upgrade it more often, especially when you're lower rated, you know, upgrading your gear when you're 1,000 to 1,400 rating, being able to bump it up is good. It's good. People at the higher end of the ladder are more focused about skill than gear. Yeah, everybody has this, right? I mean, 2100 is where the gear, it peaks in terms of eye level at 2100, right? Like, that's not very high. You're good. Like, and then everybody else who's working to get 2100 can upgrade their gear every 200 rating, and then they can upgrade their gear at 150 rating to make that big last push to 2100, right? So if you're 1950, it's not 4 eye level that's holding you back from pushing 2100, right? That's not what it is. But you have the gear to be competitive, right? You got this. You got this. You're ready to rock. Here we go. So for quests, alternate characters on an account can now skip the introductory quest line that takes place in the mall. That's nice. You can skip the mall thing. Okay. Nice. Rune Carver... We'll come back to that PvP thing, right? Rune Carver will now offer to destroy an existing legendary item to return all the soul ash or soul cinders that were spent to create the item. All of it. All of it. You get all of your stuff back. So you can try legendary, you don't like it. You get... Well, at least you get all the soul ash and soul cinders. You don't get all the gold back from making the thing, right? Drop rates for rune carving recipes are increased to 100% drop rate on any difficulty. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Okay, we'll come back. Threads of Fate. So now you can do a Torghast daily. You can do a PvP Battleground daily. You can do a Threads of Fate bonus objectives are now significantly shorter in award renown. And zone objectives now reward higher eye level gear and anima. So that's just for leveling ease. And there's all this stuff about UI. Updated the requirements to participate in a guide system. So you can now opt in after completing 3,000 quests and reaching max level. So you can become a guide. Improve gamepad compatibility. Mythic Plus and PvP ratings can now be shared through a chat link with a shift click. That's cool. So I can link people my rank 1 titles with a shift click. Or my PvP ratings. That's kind of fun. No, so when you're looking for a group, you just click your Mythic Plus eye level, or you click your, your Mythic Plus level, your rating. That's cool. The item upgrade UI has been reworked. Interesting. Group Finder improvements. Accounts now require an attached battle.net authenticator to post custom text and listing groups. So this is mostly like for the ads, right? All players may still search and join the group. So a group finder that's full of advertisements bothers us as much as it does you, but a challenge we face in trying to eliminate those ads that they are often posted by compromised accounts or other throwaway accounts, such that penalties incurred by in-game reporting have not been proven to be an effective deterrent. And regardless, relying on reports still means that some number of players have their experience disrupted by the spam before it gets reported. The BNet Authenticator is available for mobile devices and is a simple and convenient way to secure your WoW account. But if you were to not use it for whatever reason, you'll still be able to post groups that will have descriptions auto-populated. Our goal is to clean up the group finder while trying to minimize the inconvenience to ordinary players. Okay, that's cool. Search will now allows automated range. That's neat. So 5 to 9 will find Mythic plus key levels from 5 to 9. That's neat. Like if you put it in the group finder thingy. Autofill group information based on the creator's keystone. The information can still be manually entered if you want to. Group creators can now set a minimum Mythic Plus or PvP rating for applicants. Oh, sick. It's like, the game's so elitist. You just won't even see those groups. You don't have to worry about not getting let in because you won't even see them. Group creators can now select a playstyle to set expectations for their group. Interesting. So people can say, this is a casual group, this is a more serious group, so you have an understanding of what you're applying for. And if you're looking for people to just like meet, to play, to learn Mythic Plus, to have fun gaming together, like you can look for those casual tags to make friends and then find people to push later on. That's really good. Like trying to find ways of helping people find people to play with is good. That's another one of those issues that I hear a lot about. Reporters will receive a message when their report results in action being taken. Offenders will receive a message of any current and future penalties if their behavior is not corrected. Okay. Text-to-speech settings saved on a server and added. An option to also save the settings account-wide. An option to add voice transcription output on any chat frame change. Okay, cool. So that's this right here is the patch that will save World of Warcraft. No, really, it's good stuff. Still a Gladys season? Probably. We gotta put some games in, that's for sure. We've been playing a lot of other stuff recently, just been gaming and having a good time, kind of dabbling. But yep, looks good. Once again, I know that we're gonna talk about this more. I like having something to work towards, and then having an in-game power upgrade from getting there, right? I like that. That's cool. That's fun. I think that's exciting to me. But I also understand that some people just want to buy Conquest gear. It's all the same exact item level and let skill go from there. Sure. Not a bad way to do it. I just think it's like less interesting personally. I like the in-game progression as well. I think that's fun. I'm motivated by making my character more powerful personally. I like that. So. And if you're hard and slick for getting 1500, it ain't the gear. Right? But get 1500 and then upgrade your gear to 246 and then get this 1600, upgrade your gear to 249, you know, and just keep pushing, keep grinding. You got this, right? You got this. But yeah, that's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good news, a lot of exciting stuff. A lot of the things that people were concerned about being addressed. Just to go to the line, right? AoE cap removal, boom. More easy to swap conduits or covenants, boom. Some weaker covenants for certain classes and specs getting buffed, boom. Easier to do stuff on your alts, boom. Time walking stuff, interesting, very interesting. PvP item level disparity being reduced, especially, and the PvP item level being increased a lot at lower ratings, boom. Legendaries being able to be fully refunded, boom. More leveling ease, boom. More on the way too. Really cool stuff. Really exciting news. But yeah, I wanted to go over that just because I think that we've been talking about this stuff constantly on stream. Constantly talking about these kind of things. And I feel like having a lot of those concerns that we hear from the community being addressed and actually tested out on PTR is encouraging stuff. I know that the people who are working on World of Warcraft trying to make the best game possible. I also know that sometimes when feedback is received, it takes a while for it to actually get incorporated and discussed and incorporated and then tested and figured out how to put in the game. So people get pretty impatient and then get really angry and hostile. But things just take time. But this is really good that they're saying, we hear you. We're gonna test this stuff out. Well, first of all, we hear you. We're gonna figure out how to make it happen, and then we're gonna test it out. And I think it's gonna be, you know, one of hopefully many positive steps forward for WoW, and hopefully infuse some positivity into the community, which I feel like is much needed. So we've been pumping with WoW for a while, having a lot of fun with it. I think Shadowlands has been a blast, but I think these changes in particular might sort of help reduce or remove a few barriers to people just being able to get in the game and have fun and do what they want to do. So I'm with it. Excited about it. Glad we looked over it. Let's keep pumping.